Mudcreek Stitcher. I am back with windblown hair and kind of another messy craft room. I swear I clean it. I do. And then I drag everything back out again. How y'all doing? It is Sunday. I should actually say the date. April 13th. I missed last weekend. We had family, which was wonderful. And so I'm back this weekend. I actually stayed at the family's this weekend and babysat, and I'm exhausted. I feel like I taught of my first full week of school back after summer break. Who knew a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old could break you so fast, and yet they can. But oh my goodness, I had so much fun just watching their little personalities. They are a hoot. They are a hoot. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that, because I could go on forever, and y'all don't want to hear all of that, I am sure, because maybe you were grandparents yourself. You know what I'm talking about. So anyways, so I missed a week and I'm back. Probably won't do next weekend just due to Easter, and I know everyone's going to be busy. But happy Palm Sunday. Today's Palm Sunday. Our lay pastor was not there. They're on vacation this weekend, but my husband found a video, which happened to be a video I happened to watch before he ever thought about it. And then he's like, should we show this video? And I'm like, wait a minute, I watched that too. And it's Gary Hamrick. It was really good about the Passover lamb and the history and all that. So there is a lot out there. If you're wanting to know about the meaning of Palm Sunday, it's just a great time to remember our King came, and he's here, and he's living in us. So moving on, we are in Proverbs 31. I was just looking, my cross stitches over there. I am going to do a very fast floss tube today, so I'll show it there. But if you want to, if you haven't joined us yet, if you're new or you're just like, what? Why is she rambling? We're doing a Proverbs 31 sampler by Plum Street. It was new, I believe, in 2024. Somebody tell me if that's right or wrong. And I'm an Ada stitcher, so it does have over 1 for the words, but I'm just playing a little bit of the verse. Some have figured out how to fit in most of the verse or all the verse, just whatever you want to do. It's a very pretty stitch, so I will show that in my floss tube this afternoon. So anyways, if you want to do that, why am I telling you this? Because our study has been Worth More Than Rubies, the Proverbs 31 woman. And it's been a very good study. I highly recommend it, just to buy the book and do it by yourself again, because there's so much wonderfulness in this about what it means to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Okay, so with all that, where we ended out last time was a woman of courage, and the verse last time was, she's clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. And so the book that I have here broke it down for us, and there were some scriptures to look at. And there was a pros and cons list for your anxieties, what you can control and what you can't control, and so on. Okay, so now we're on to a woman of wisdom. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. I know, haven't taught for a couple days. It falls apart. A woman of wisdom. The Proverbs 31 woman is a woman of wisdom. With God as her guiding source, she has clarity on the decisions she makes, how she lives her life, and the words she chooses. She carefully cultivates a godly life on the eternal truth of God and not the temporary and fleeting distractions of this world. So our focus verse today is Proverbs 31:26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Okay, so I'm just kind of flipping to Proverbs here, so I'm kind of ready. All right, key insight. It's important to resist the urge to say anything right when we feel like it, just to get it off our chest. Okay, I don't like where this is going. Wisdom tells us to be patient and wait for the best time to approach a matter with our words. Deep breath, everyone. We can do this. If we are too hasty, we get our feeling off our chest. But at what cost? Is it worth it if we could have waited for a wiser time to speak? That gives us a better chance of bringing about the change or result we desire. Yeah. Whew, how many of you are just like flipping through your head of all the times you said something too quickly, too hasty, should have thought about it, or whatever. Yeah. James chapter 1 verse 19 tells us, "Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger." We must not be so quick to speak that we become too prideful to listen. In fact, the Bible instructs us to take more time to listen than to speak. Doing so gives us the knowledge and insight we need to respond with our words accordingly. If we truly know how powerful our words are, we'll understand that they should not be used in haste or carelessly. With His words, God created the heavens and the earth, and as His image bearers, we too have power in our words to create, inspire, and encourage. But this also means we have just as much power to tear down, destroy, and crush with our words. When we take the time to listen, think, and process more than we talk, we position ourselves to use our words to build up, unite, inform, educate, and empower. Our words are more powerful than we can handle at times. As power can lead to life, it can also lead to death. Take a quick inventory of the words you've been speaking lately. I don't want to. This is the book telling. This is not me. This is the book. Here we go. Are you guilty of complaining? Check. Sarcastic, hurtful remarks? Check. Gossiping? Big check. Nagging? I don't think I nag, but check. Arguing? Check. Or negative words that tear down but don't build up? Okay, fine. Check, 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 check. Check to everything. It really stinks sometimes living in this world. It struggles. Okay. So, I challenge you to make more of a conscious effort today to ensure you are using your words the way God intended wise women to do so. How many of you are cringing right now? Because I am. Because, think about it. What do we know about women? We love to talk. We love to talk. Guys do too. Guys do too. But women, just like at school right now, we're kind of in that mode of our rooms are kind of running themselves. Like the kids know what to do. They know what's expected. And they're getting a little bit wild on the other side of that too. But anyways, we're kind of at the point of if we see one of us is standing in the hall and there's nobody around them, then we kind of peek our head out and we're like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, nothing. I just need a break from my kids. And then suddenly there's like 4 of us standing in the hall chatting. So it's just what we do. We like to chat. We like to talk, but it does usually turn negative, complaining, whining, nagging, gossiping. Yeah. Got a long ways to go. All right, so it says, Proverbs 31, 26 and 27, I think, which is the verse I just read. 31, 31, 26, 27, yep. It says, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. All right, here we go. What makes the Proverbs 31 woman wise in this scripture? Well, I would say on her tongue is the law of kindness. So that can go back. I'm assuming that goes back to the law of Moses, right? The 10 Commandments, the 613 laws. So not only would she be, kind through her words, but she would also be probably speaking truth as well in kindness and love. And we have to be careful. That's a two-edged sword, but that's what Jesus did. He spoke with kindness and love, but he also spoke truth to the law, his law. And I think sometimes we get bogged down in that. Oh, what to say, what not to say. Well, I shouldn't say anything. I don't know. That's when you're in a position like that. I mean, you need to pray. You just need to pray and be like, Lord, put the words in my mouth because I'm going to screw it up. So, anyways, so I think that's what makes her wise, is that she is speaking the law. And not only that, but she's watching over her household. So my guess is she's making sure they're abiding by the law, which of course is God. And they don't eat the bread of idleness. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe later on the book will tell us. What do you learn from Proverbs 31 woman about how to use your words? Kind, with kindness, truthfulness, but in a loving way. Not very good at that many times. Still working. It's going to be a lifelong journey till the end. Anything else I'm trying to think that we could learn from this? Learn from Proverbs 31 women about how to use your words. The fact that our words, it was such a great point that they just said, that the author just said that, God spoke the world into being. He spoke the universe into being. He spoke everything into being, and we're made in his image. And that just explains so much about the power of words. There's power in what we say. So we need to pray before we speak. Really, I should be praying every time I talk. I probably should be. Have I? No. But especially, I think, when you're in a difficult situation, you don't know how to respond, we need to be praying. And that's, you know what I'm talking about. At work, at home, at play, we've all run into those situations, and you want to say something, but you may have said it wrong. And that's happened to me a few times. Moving on. Next question. What changes can you make when it comes to how you talk and choose to speak? I say talk like Jesus did, right? We want to speak how he taught us to speak. Just his Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, how we're supposed to be, and to also understand there's no way we could ever be Jesus, but we're supposed to continue to try with his spirit in us, guiding us, showing us how to speak and how to act. I've been listening to Pastor Brent in the book of Acts from Mudcreek, so that's been really good. All about how the church should act, how the church began. It's really good. It's been a great reminder. Next one, it says, pray for the wisdom to know when to speak, what to say, how to say it, and the power to keep quiet when necessary. Okay, once again, we're women. That's tough. Do you know anybody knows how to be quiet when they need to be? That would not be this chica right here. But maybe you are that girl, and I think that's awesome. Or maybe you've learned how to be quiet and listen and just don't say anything. I think what gets us all into trouble, and I've witnessed this so many times in myself, surrounding family and friends, co-workers, everyone wants to be the first to tell the news. You know what I'm talking about. One such instance happened. This person told about somebody passing away, and there was a couple of us that were like, what? And then that person, I think, was taken aback because they did not realize, I knew that person. I taught their kids. I know that person. And I think they were in such a rush to hurry and tell everyone, didn't realize you might affect some people right there who know them and was saddened to hear it. I mean, the one who shared the news didn't have knowledge, has no background knowledge, where the two of us sitting there were like, I taught their kids. How did this happen? They're not that old. I don't understand. And that was hard. And I think that, and I myself have done this many times. And I see my husband in the tractor coming. But out the window, he's driving really fast. But I think that's happened. Sorry, squirrel. It's happened so many times with all of us. We want to be the first to tell. In the end, that's just gossiping, and it's hard to stop yourself from doing that. And yes, you need to tell if somebody's passed away or something bad's happened. You should. But it needs to be in a prayerful way, and I think we all are so guilty of, I just want to be the first to tell. I want to see everybody's shock and awe. Guilty right here. I think I do it like 2 or 3 times a week. I think I try and hurry up and run and tell as fast as I can. I want to quit doing that. So I'm working on it. Well, God's working on it. I am not helping the situation. So anyways, that's what I think. Tell me your opinions, what you think. I've been reading your comments. I'm sorry I haven't responded. It's just been so busy. But, I love just what you all said. So thank you so much. Okay, moving on. We always want to be the first, don't we? So, what challenges do women face when it comes to using our words with wisdom? Well, we want to be the first to tell. We love to gossip. We love to tear each other down. I know you're like, I don't love to. Whether we mean to or not, we do it. I know I have been guilty, especially my 20s and 30s. As I get older and I'm the one who's been torn down and God's broken me open, I mean, he's shown me that your mouth did this, Tara. Your mouth. And it's like, okay, Lord, I'm going to go apologize. Okay. So other challenges, you could lose friendships. If you are not willing to be in that gossip ring and ooh and ah and talk bad about somebody, you're going to lose some friends. But were they friends in the first place? You know, that's something that could affect you as well. And then maybe not for some of you, but for a lot of us, just being quiet. It's a challenge. Be quiet. Just be quiet and just listen and don't actually say anything. Just listen to whatever that person's telling you. Maybe they're pouring their heart out to you. You do not need to go tell anybody about this. Listen and pray and just maybe offer to them, can I pray with you about what's going on? I need to work more on that too. Can you tell this is all about me right now? I'm not really helping, am I? But I see me right here. Okay, moving on. How can women wisely use their words to build up and not tear down? I'll pray. Let's pray. You could say that. Let's pray. What can I do to help? But actually mean it. Mean it. Not like I'm going to offer it, but I know you're never going to actually call me for help. So it's an easy out. No, actually be like intentional and say, hey, I see that your husband was working. You said you don't have a babysitter. You got to take your mom to the doctor. I'll come over and watch your kid for a couple hours. They'll be shocked. And what a way to reach out to the church. Not to the church. What a way for the church to reach out. Sorry. I've been in this mindset about the church needs to get out of the building and reach out. And just love. You know, it's so easy to tell your kids you love them and your spouses and stuff and your parents. But you know what? Sometimes your friends need to hear, hey, I love you. I care about you and I want to help and do what I can, what's best that you think. Tell them you love them. Tell them you love them. I've told some coworkers that and they squeezed me back and said, I love you too, Tara. You are so important to me. And I'm like, you're more important. They're like, no. You get it. So when is it appropriate to speak up even when there may be opposition? Well, obviously, if somebody's going to do something that might hurt somebody else or themselves, hurting others, I don't know. That's so hard because, yeah, you need to speak even if there's opposition. If it's something truly evil, you do need to speak. You need to follow God's words and pray on it and speak, but in my experience, it's like talking to a brick wall. Do you know what I mean? Their mind is made up. And sometimes I just feel like there's no point in saying anything, just praying. I heard a weird noise back there. It's not my dog, she's outside. So anyways, I don't know. Maybe you have an idea. I'm just trying to think if I've ever run into opposition. Well, early on in my teaching, there was a very, 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 very horrific situation in my school building, and it was obvious the gentleman running our building, he was lying about everything and not telling the truth. In my youthful 20s, you know, everything's still very black and white in your youthful 20s. I kept trying to tell everyone, he's lying to you, don't do it. But I ended up being the one despised by many in the building. And they're like, he's fine, just back off. That was hard. That was hard. I wasn't a Christian at that point. I was just a youthful, prideful young girl saying, he is lying. Well, the following year, he hurt some people, and they're like, okay, he was lying. I'm like, I told you. I told you. So, anyways, but as a Christian, how would have I approached that different? I probably would have prayed on it first and asked God, do I say anything or not? Probably would have started there. I don't know. That'd be interesting to think about. Okay, so anyways, there's some scriptures you can definitely look up that tie into this. I'm going to do a floss tube though, so I'm keeping it short today. Anyways, she says in here, here's some scriptures about wisdom. Ephesians 4:29, James 1:19, Proverbs 15:1 through 2, and Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 7. So there are some scriptures if you're interested to cross-reference the wisdom that we need to live the life that Jesus meant for us to live. And here's one little more excerpt about Deborah. Remember Deborah? Deborah. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at that time. Judges 4:4. Deborah was a woman of wisdom. When God's people need direction, he rose up Deborah to provide counsel and wise judgment. Deborah's wisdom provided order among the people and safety as her leadership led to victory in battle. As a woman of wisdom like Deborah, God has given you much influence because he trusts you. You may be tempted to become insecure as you stand out as a leader. But remember, God has appointed you to this position. He will equip you with all that you need to lead well. Lean on God, and he will direct your steps. And that's what I need to do, and you too. Thank you guys again for stopping by. Like I said, I'll get this up, and then I'm going to get another floss tube up. No Lori this time, but she's in another city, and I'm like, I'm just going to hurry and do one. So anyways, she's like, that's fine. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.